about Quinnipiac Theater Group's newest production that's hitting the stage this weekend. All that and much more on this edition of the Q30 Newscast. It's the first day of March, and it's time for some more news. Welcome to another edition of the Q30 Newscast. I'm Dylan Summer.
And I'm Brittany Braun-Lieben. We have a lot to get into tonight. Everything from the Ukraine conference to celebrating Women's History Month. So let's get right into it.
On Saturday, the Central European Institute hosted a conference where they looked at how refugees from Ukraine are shaping policies for immigration in the United States and Europe.
Q30's Olivia Cattell has more on this topic.
This past Saturday, the Quinnipiac Central European Institute held a day-long conference in wake of the one-year mark of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. United Nations ambassadors from Eastern Europe and immigration experts visited to share their perspectives at this event. Senator Richard Blumenthal kicked off the conference by expressing his support for Ukrainian refugees in Connecticut.
The Ukrainian Adjustment Act will provide a path to permanent status for Ukrainian refugees who are here and have a temporary status. What they need and deserve is assurance that they will be safe and secure in this country.
Immigration attorney Dana Buchin says the Ukrainian Adjustment Act would be instrumental in helping refugees become settled in the United States.
They have to concern themselves with what happens next. There's no next. Right now, there's absolutely nothing in our policies that would indicate what happens after the 1 or 2 years. It would provide an answer to all of it because it would give them a green card, a path for them to permanently stay in the United States.
Representatives from Poland, Hungary, and Romania also shared how Ukrainian migration has looked for their countries. Conference representatives were also able to provide on-ground updates from Ukraine as well as trends from the region in recent weeks. Research conducted from Eastern Europe has determined that the number of displaced Ukrainians is steadily decreasing. Despite the war continuing much longer than expected, support for Ukraine has not waned over the past 12 months.
In Europe, in the European Union, NATO countries as well, we are more united than ever. Together with all the like-minded countries around the globe.
For Q30 News, I'm Olivia Cattell.
The former editor-in-chief of USA Today, Joanne Lipman, joined Quinnipiac students on Monday to speak about her career in communications. Lipman told students about her experience as a female working in a male-dominated field and her overall journey as a journalist. Lipman spoke alongside Quinnipiac University President Judy Yolian and School of Communications Dean Roush.
And you have to think very carefully when you're talking with your sources, when they are asking you things of what you agree to, what is on the record, what is off the record, and always try to be on the record, getting the information and having control over that information.
The Quinnipiac Department of Cultural and Global Engagement is accepting applications for the Global Partners Program. This program serves international students at Quinnipiac by easing their transition into the university. Students can apply to be a mentor in the program to tell international students everything they need to know before they arrive at Quinnipiac. The deadline to apply is April 1st.
Earlier today, Quinnipiac hosted a major and minor fair in the Piazza. This gave students a chance to look into different majors if they wanted to change or explore all their options for a minor. Representatives from all the schools were present to answer questions and help students with their options. We spoke to Dean Reinhardt about why it's important to explore different educational opportunities.
We hope that they can find someone to chat with here and learn a little bit more about the programs they'd like. They can declare a major or minor today, and we can ring a cowbell in celebration.
Plus, careers and job opportunities are in the air today. This afternoon, the School of Business and the School of Engineering held a career fair in Burke-Con. Students got the chance to explore different internship and job opportunities with companies such as M&T Bank, Big Y, the FBI, Connecticut Department of Transportation, and plenty more. Many representatives believe that this fair is a smart way for students to put themselves out there.
So we have really competitive pay. There's a lot of positions open at the state in very diverse fields, and there's a lot of lateral and upward mobility, which is something employers are looking for. If you're willing to come out here and put your stick your neck out in line a little bit, that's definitely shows that you're looking to better yourself and get into this field, and that looks good for an employer.
Today, Quinnipiac was selected to get a $3 million grant to address the shortage of nurses and social workers across Connecticut. With this grant, Quinnipiac will provide $10,000 in tuition to each student entering the Accelerated Nursing Program and Social Worker Master's Program. The grant was given by the Connecticut Health Horizon with the goal of bringing in more students and more diversity in these programs.
Quinnipiac excelled in the Regional American Mock Trial competition over the weekend. Even though the team did not qualify for an automatic bid, the team did end up winning 6 of the 8 ballots. Plus, 2 students received Outstanding Attorney Awards. One of those students was CJ Benedetti, who believes it was the best the team has performed as of yet.
We went 6-2, which means we won 6 ballots, or we won 6 and lost 2. And that's the best record at a regional competition the team's had in like 4 years. And it really was just a cohesive, everyone clicked, everyone got it, everyone put in that work that needed to be put in.
Quinnipiac's theater group will be presenting a new folk rock musical, Bulgaria Revolt. This musical takes place in 1925 and is based off real events. The purpose is to educate the crowd on what a revolution is. Q30's Joe Monti has more on this story.
It's showtime for Quinnipiac University Theater. This weekend, they're bringing a new musical called Bulgaria Revolt to the local community. Elizabeth Dinkova, co-creator and director of the musical, created the play in 2015. She was inspired by protests for justice and equity in her home country of Bulgaria and the United States. She was also inspired by the historical significance of the Bulgarian poem that the musical is based on.
It commemorated and celebrated this peasant uprising that was brutally crushed by an anti-fascist government. So, as the conversation about fascism in the present day was intensifying around that time, we decided to look back at that poem and create a play.
The play is based on 2 stories separated by continents, but have their own important similarities.
One in a Bulgarian village, where peasants are trying to revolt against a dictator. The other one in an American factory in Chicago, where immigrant workers are trying to unite in order to fight capitalist exploitation.
Cast members are expecting the audience to go on a wild ride.
Oh, they can expect a lot of laughs, a lot of chaos. It's just everything rolled up into one. There's a lot of brutality, a lot of really funny moments, a lot of tender moments. It's a lot of just everything.
Preparing for this show presented some new challenges to the cast.
The music, especially in the first act, which takes place in Bulgaria, it's not like any contemporary music. We actually struggled with that a lot when we were learning the songs, because we expected the notes to go one way and it would go the other way, because in Bulgaria it has a very specific tonal shift.
For those who will be in attendance, members of the theater program believe this experience will be very different from any other musical.
It is kind of a multimedia experience, which I think is super exciting. We haven't done anything this tech heavy in a very long time.
Students can enjoy the play on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the theater building on Sherman Avenue. For Q30 News, I'm Joe Monti.
Quinnipiac Athletics is hosting Equity Week with the Rising Coaches DEI Alliance this week. Equity Week is based off the nationwide equity and inclusion game, where they use college basketball to keep the equality in the national conversation. Quinnipiac took this idea and added more ways to spread the message and show support. The athletics department is holding many events throughout the week for students, athletes, coaches, and administrators.
And with that, we are set to take our first commercial break of the evening.
When we come back, we have the latest news in politics and details about Jimmy Carter's visit.
But before we go, we have Nick Antoniadis in the studio with us to give us his 3-day forecast. Nick, I heard Mother Nature has some plans for rain in the next coming days. Is that true?
Well, Dylan, you are correct. As we see in the 3-day weather, it's just going to be a little bit iffy from today to Friday. There's going to be cloudy and it's going to be raining. But as you can see right here, it's going to be 53 degrees on Thursday, which isn't really that much special because it's going to be raining on Thursday. But I hope that it's going to be a little bit better on the 7-day forecast, which I'm going to give you after the commercial break.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud.
Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Joe, spot on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Thanks for sticking with us. Former United States President Jimmy Carter is still in hospice care as of today. Carter has left many marks during his lifetime and even made history right here at Quinnipiac. Back in 2007, Carter came to Quinnipiac to receive the first Albert Schweitzer's Humanitarian Award. He delivered a speech marking the 50th anniversary of Albert Schweitzer's call to end nuclear weapons. Q30 spoke with the executive director of the Albert Schweitzer Institute to reflect on this memory.
It's nice to remember that time that Carter brought this sort of international and national focus to Quinnipiac. And it was one of the few Albert Schweitzer medals that we awarded.
It is time to hand it over to Q30's Krista Barong on the latest political news.
This week, Krista will be covering hot topics such as student loans, visa, and surprisingly, Disney. Krista, take it away.
Thanks, Dylan and Brittany. Joe Biden's plan to help eradicate student debt is most likely to be blocked by the conservative justices of the Supreme Court. On Tuesday, Chief Justice John Roberts led the rebuttal of canceling federal student loans that were given amidst the pandemic. The main objection to the debt relief program is its costs, and it is estimated to cost about $400 billion over the next 30 years. Over 26 million people have applied for up to $20,000 in student loan forgiveness, and this program is directly tied to the HEROES Act of 2003, where the Secretary of Education is allowed to change the terms of student loans in case of a national emergency. A decision in regards to the fate of the debt relief program is expected to be made by June. On Tuesday, President Biden urged Congress to renew FISA, better known as the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, as it is set to expire at the end of 2023. This act allows American spy agencies to keep a close eye on foreign communications outside the U.S. This act has helped prevent potential acts of terror and aided in the drone strike that killed an al-Qaeda leader last August. The issues arising about its renewal stems from claims that American citizens' privacy is not fully protected under the program. The agencies do issue a transparency report, but have yet to publish numbers regarding U.S. searches. The controversy over the act also extends to whether or not the U.S. intelligence agencies should be given as much power as they held after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, as the agencies are moving from counterterrorism tactics to what is known as great power competition and focusing on cyber attacks. On Monday, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill into action that would allow the state of Florida to take over the Reedy Creek Improvement District. This government body has direct ties to Disney World and is responsible for most of the power Disney has within the Central Florida region. After the Disney company spoke out against the Florida bill that would ban the teaching of sexual orientation and gender identity in schools last year, which is a bill that DeSantis supported, the governor stated, quote, "Today, the corporate kingdom finally comes to an end. There's a new sheriff in town and accountability will be the order of the day," end quote. Despite the changes occurring, Disney plans to work alongside the new governing body in order to remain the happiest place on earth. That's all I have for political news. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Krista. This show's been going by fast as we're already on to our second commercial break of the night, but we still have a lot more to get into.
Yet we still have a full weather report from Nick Antoniadis, National News Update with Lane Dubin, and how could I forget our Women's History Month story brought to you by Samantha Pirelli. Stay with us.
honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
The weather has been frightful, but having Nick and Tonias in the studio is delightful.
Nick, as much as I love the snow, I hope it doesn't snow again. What's the forecast looking like for the next couple of days?
Well, Brianna, you're not going to be seeing some snow, but unfortunately there is going to be a lot of clouds and rain from Wednesday all the way to Sunday. You're going to be seeing a lot of clouds and also some rain. And then if you could check right here, only Monday is going to be the sunny day, and then on Tuesday it's going to be partly cloudy, and then you're going to just be seeing nothing but 40-degree weather. But I'm not done. Let's go check around what's going on in Connecticut. So as you can see right here in Connecticut, the warmest temperature right now is going to be at Hartford and at Norwich with 48 degrees, Danbury at 47, and then you check on New London and on New Haven's 45 degrees, and finally the lowest temperature is going to be at 44. And Dylan and Brittany, I don't know about you two, but I'm excited for the warm weather. It is March. That means it's going to be baseball season, so I'm looking forward to the warm weather and finally be able to watch some baseball. But back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Nick. So March is recognized as Women in History Month, and today being March 1st makes it the perfect day to start spreading the message. Q30 Samantha Pirelli spoke to student leaders about the importance of recognizing this month.
Today, March 1st, is the start of National Women's History Month. This month spreads awareness on women who have done something to change society for the better. Second-year Jennifer Coleman, the president of the Women Empowered organization at Quinnipiac, mentions the differences in lifestyles from women then and now.
I think I would like everyone to realize that we are pretty privileged to live in the place that we do, and that women have come so far, and to even be going to college is incredibly awesome. Like, women of the past were not able to do that, and having that opportunity alone is just amazing, and we should acknowledge that.
Second-year Jennifer Moya, the vice president of the student chapter of the Association of Women in Sports Media, adds that it's helpful to know that a group can relate and support you.
If you go to an organization's meeting and you walk in and you're the only one that looks like you feel alienated, you feel weird, and like you don't really want to be there. So it is really nice to be able to walk into an AWSM meeting and there are people that look like you there and there are people that get you.
This month is significant in highlighting the history of what women went through to be where they are now.
I think Women's History Month is incredibly important because it has brought us to where we are today, to where we can even have a women-empowered organization on campus. And I still think there's a lot of progress that needs to be done, but I think the women of our past have paved the way for the future.
Women's history is everywhere. Bold students say it's important to have a safe space for women on campus. For Q30 News, I'm Samantha Pirelli.
Q30's Lane Dubin joins us now to discuss what's been going on around the nation.
Lane, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Let's get right into it. The Ohio train derailment, which happened 3 weeks ago in East Palestine, is still being monitored not only by the immediate community affected, but also by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. On Tuesday, the agency opened an office where people can sign up to have the air in their homes monitored. This also extends to cleaning services and businesses. Here, residents can also question officials on the progress of their cleanup efforts. EPA Administrator Michael Reagan said, quote, "We want to get the extra mile so that people can feel comfortable living in their community. The people of East Palestine will not have to figure out what comes next on their own," end quote. This week, California is under extreme weather conditions by the Sierra Nevada mountains. Heavy snow into today caused Interstate 80 to close due to traffic and dangerous conditions. Drivers are still attempting to navigate around the road closures. Placer County Sheriff's Office tweeted out that the back roads are not any safer and many people have already crashed in efforts to get around the I-80 closure. As of noon, Tuesday, 50,000 homes and businesses are without power across the Northern California and Nevada area. The blizzard reached Sacramento earlier this week with heavy rain and winds gusting of up to 30 miles per hour. 4 astronauts are still on the ground in Florida due to last-minute technical issues. SpaceX's Falcon 9 was supposed to launch to the International Space Station for NASA on Monday, but now are delayed until at least Thursday due to weather conditions. Launch controllers halted the countdown 2.5 minutes before liftoff. Officials said that issues stemmed from ignition with the engine fluid and the ground equipment used. Commander Stephen Bowen and the rest of his crew will replace the 4 residents of the space station who have been up there since October. NASA's administrator, Bill Nelson, said in a statement, quote, "I am proud of NASA and SpaceX team's focus and dedication to keeping Crew 6 safe," end quote. That's all I have, and let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Lane. And just like that, we are on to our final break of the night. When we come back, we'll have Andrew Reynolds with his women's ice hockey preview of this weekend's Colgate series.
Plus, we have to talk about the wonderful snow we got and my personal favorite, sports with Seth Frommertz. Keep it here.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this. You will find something.
You will find something new.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here.
Wait.
What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Following their series win against the St. Lawrence Saints, the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team's next test will be against the Colgate Raiders at Ingalls Rink. Q30's Andrew Reynolds has the preview and the analysis of that contest.
This upcoming weekend, the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team will head down to Ingalls Rink, the home of the Yale Bulldogs, to take on the Colgate Raiders in the semifinals of the ECAC tournament. This season, the Bobcats are undefeated versus the Raiders, beating them in October 3-0 and on the road 2-1 in overtime. At the time of both victories, both teams ranked within the top 10 of the USA Hockey and USCHO polls. Do not let the season record fool you, though, as today the Bobcats are ranked number 8 in the nation with a 29-8-0 record. And for Colgate, they hold steady in the top 5 at number 4 with a record of 35-2. The only teams in the way of both the Bobcats and the Raiders are the Yale Bulldogs and possibly the Clarkson Golden Knights if they can pull off the upset. The ECAC Championship is anyone's to claim, as the remaining teams in the tournament are all top 10 teams. That is your ECAC tournament preview for this weekend. For Q30 News, I'm Andrew Reynolds.
Thank you, Andrew. Quinnipiac is introducing a new program called Building Bobcats, Developing Youth Sports. Quinnipiac athletics and coaches host local youth sports and help them develop their abilities and skills. They also teach the young athletes to love sports. It also helps teach kids the importance of interacting with others and the importance of exercise. This also gives the community a place for young children and their family to get involved with the university.
After we've talked about the women's ice hockey playoff series, it seems fitting to bring our own insider Seth Bromowitz with more on the latest in Quinnipiac athletics.
I'm excited to hear what happened. Seth, take it away.
Thanks, Dylan and Brittany. While spring sports are getting their season started, the teams up on York Hill are beginning to wrap their time up. The Quinnipiac Women's Hockey Conference playoffs have started off with a bang for the Bobcats. Facing St. Lawrence in the quarterfinals, the Bobcats took Game 1, but dropped Game 2 to force a win-or-go-home situation. Scoring got started 11.5 minutes into the opening period as Julia Gosling scored her third goal of the tournament in as many games. A scoreless second period brings us to the third as the Bobcats are on the penalty kill, but senior defender Kate Riley ties the game up, going coast-to-coast shorthanded. We go to overtime. 3 minutes in, senior forward Sadie Peart's shot is blocked in front, but the rebound sneaks by Lucy Morgan, sealing the game and the series by final score of 2-1 and clinching the series 2-1. Quinnipiac will go on to the semifinals at Ingalls Rink in New Haven and face the number 2 seeded Colgate this coming weekend. Coming into the game on a 10-game win streak, the women's basketball team was faced with heavy defensive pressure from the Purple Eagles. Quinnipiac's leading scorer, senior Curtiera Haywood, stayed at the top as she led the Bobcats with 13 points, along with senior Michaela Morris and graduate transfer Mary Baskerville had 8 rebounds each. However, Niagara's defense was too much as the Purple Eagles forced 30 turnovers. The last time the Bobcats turned the ball over at least 30 times was the last game against Niagara on January 5th in a 67-64 loss. For the Purple Eagles, it was the Parker sisters, Alia and Angel, who combined for 38 points as the Bobcats fell to Niagara 63-58. Despite the home loss, the Bobcats were able to defeat Siena on the road by a final of 69-52 just 2 days later. Switching locker rooms to the men's side of the court as Quinnipiac honored their seniors against Manhattan. Graduate students Ike Nweke and Tyrese Williams, along with seniors Savion Lewis and Matt Belanc, were recognized for their impact in Hamden. On the special day, Belanc led the team in scoring with 19 points, shooting a perfect 3-for-3 at the charity stripe. Williams recorded 14 of his own points, 12 of them coming from three-point range. However, it was the Jaspers that came out on top as Ant Nelson hits the buzzer beater for his 21st point of the day as Manhattan wins 72-70. That's all I have in the world of Quinnipiac sports. I'll send it back to Dylan and Brittany.
Thanks, Seth. The Quinnipiac community was waiting for their first snow day to come, and that day finally came yesterday.
Q30's Julia Barcello spoke to students on the quad about how they enjoyed their snow day and spent their time with their day off.
Quinnipiac University is a winter wonderland. Students are thrilled to have the first snowstorm of the year.
The snowstorm began late Monday night into Tuesday afternoon. Students ran outside the minute the snow
Quinnipiac University is a winter wonderland. Students are thrilled to have the first snowstorm of the year.
The snowstorm began late Monday night into Tuesday afternoon. Students ran outside the minute the snow began to fall for hours of sledding and snowball fights.
So yeah, I was really excited for the snow that was going to be coming today. And last night we saw it on the weather channels, the flurry that's going to be happening. And at the time that we started getting snow, we went right out to the hills and started sledding and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was really excited to see it snow. Campus looks beautiful now. I was happy to have everyone outside. It was a lot of fun last night. Having a good time, everyone was together. It was a great day for QU.
Students emphasized that it was an uplifting experience.
But then everyone was outside from like 12 to 2 a.m. yesterday, and everyone was sledding and skiing and stuff. And it was really wholesome, and it made me happy. And I think it was just a good experience overall.
It was really cool to see how like the school came together and like we were all acting like kids again. It was really cute.
Students went sledding, built snowmen, and held snowball fights just outside the Hill and Village residence halls.
So then we came out here to mess around and heard everyone screaming up on the hill, so then we just went over there, and it was hectic, to be honest.
There's a snowman actually around Village, pretty big, 6 feet tall, bulletproof, he's good. But the tradition here is great. Every time there's snow, everyone's sledding. Happy there was snow, because it's always a fun time in the snow.
And for Q30 News, I'm Julia Barcello.
With the first big snow day of 2023 in the books, we wanted to know what students thought of their winter wonderland that now covers Quinnipiac's campus.
In this week's Q30 News Twitter poll, we asked students if they were happy to finally see some snow. Let's check out those results. 82.4% of the students said they were excited for the snow. 17.6% of students said they were not. Personally, I cannot imagine not being excited for the snow. I love snow. How about you, Dylan?
Me too, Brittany. Make sure to follow the Q30 News Twitter to vote on our future polls. And with the snow day now in the past, our time is also up here on the Q30 Newscast.
Thank you to all the producers and everyone behind the scenes to make the show possible.
Please visit our website at q30tv.com and follow us on Twitter at Q30 News. For Brittany Braun-Lieben, I'm Dylan Summer. Good night, Bobcats.